Hey folks, welcome back to the Talos Principle 2 and the Western Delta, where we are exploring once again for ways to unlock all the puzzles, power up the tower, and begin our final journey to the megastructure. Last time we got some interesting revelations in the form of visions granted by Prometheus after we freed him, which showed that Athena had lost faith in the people of New Jerusalem, seeing them slide into the bad habits of humanity, and set out with Cornelius to try to create something new. We know she created Miranda and probably found the theory of everything, the underlying harmonious physical structure of the universe that allowed her to create the particle clouds and everything we see around us. That being said, we've got a lot to find here, so let's get started. Let's start looking at question marks. Oh, okay, we can just about cross that. We're looking for terminals, lost puzzles, and star puzzles. Looks like we found one of the lost puzzles here. We'll return to that later. We've got a question mark close to us over here, and it looks like it's a terminal. So let's investigate this. All right, against decay. From selected archive documents A through C, author unknown. We live in a decaying system, which in turn produces ideologies of decay to justify its existence. No matter what cultural signifiers they get packaged with, these ideologies come down to the same material result. A future in which, for the average person, there is less of everything. To paraphrase Mark Fisher, we find it easier to imagine the decline of civilization than to imagine a civilization worth living in. Those of us who still believe that humanity can thrive, that there is a path forward other than willful or accidental decay, are out of sync with the system. No matter how we phrase our arguments, they will be perceived in terms of whatever cultural signifiers the listener opposes. It's a deeply frustrating, depressing, even infuriating situation. But what can we do except patiently explain and hope conditions change? In other words, what can we do except have faith? Athena replies, "This was written only a few months before the discovery of the virus. There was no time for conditions to change." But it maps very much to what she sees in New Jerusalem. That it's easier for the citizens there to imagine a decline, to imagine living with less, than it is for them to believe in a better future. We have Founding 11 here from Hypatia, day 882. It's been a while since I last wrote an entry in my journal. Much has changed in New Jerusalem. We've put up a good chunk of the planned living quarters, and the old storage facility has been converted into a movie theater of all things. So we still argue a lot, but now it's mostly about which film we'll be watching next. Other construction efforts are going well too, although we've begun to run out of readily accessible resources. Our scavenging expeditions are ranging further and further afield with each passing month, and the sites that they have reported on sound truly marvelous. One day, I might want to go see for myself. It's a good thing in that regard that we'll be getting 2 new citizens soon, because everyone's as busy as ever. More hands to help us build our future. I can't wait to meet them. And then a chunk of encrypted text. We also have a message from Trevor.
How is this supposed to work? The system is meant to last centuries. Centuries! And yeah, Chernyshevsky's plan, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I'm working with hardware that was deliberately designed to fail. Planned obsolescence, baby. Selling broken garbage just to make another buck. A buck you can't even spend because in a few more weeks, we'll be extinct. Was it worth it? That's the part that Alexandra doesn't see. The greed, the stupidity, the selfishness, the way that we created this whole situation in the first place. She wants you to be like us, but if you ask me, there's a whole lot of human history and behavior you can just throw away, chuck it in the trash, right? You have a chance at a fresh start. Make the best of it.
Alexandra had to be hopeful. It was the only thing she could hold on to, but he's not wrong. All right, we found the lost lab here. Here we go. What do we have here? It's like... Okay. Over here we can see another kind of holographic map style thing with these pulsing dots that we don't really know what they are. Back here we've got another server room with a terminal. From Thekla 4, beloved founder, know that I do not believe any of the lies the expedition is spreading about you. Something is right. This Prometheus illusion is just a test. We will resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint. Praise your name, Thekla862. So she's in total denial and sent this message within the last hour or so. We also have here The History of Athena, author error. Something was first published as Athena, a novel, and retained that title for its first 3 printings, now highly sought after. After a lull in popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. This edition retained the same text, but included some of the author's poetry. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death, under the rather embarrassing title Athena's Truth, included severe cuts and drastic changes to the text in the interest of updating it for modern audiences. This particularly affected the last chapter, Anthropogeny, which the editors accused of scientism and human supremacy. Science wonderkind Alexander Drennan was one of the few to come to the novel's defense, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey toward humanity had been essential to shaping her own views, encouraging her to pursue science as a vocation rather than a career, and that changing the text constituted an attack on the author's unique artistic and philosophical vision. Alex, who hurt you? LMAO, one of the editors commented on a popular social media platform. Nadia Sarabhai of the Institute for Applied Noematics also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long but unsuccessful campaign to oust Sarabhai from her position as head researcher. Wow, lots of encryption, but this discussion is really interesting. Drennan and Sarabhai both defended the author's vision, while the clique or collective of the lowbrow social media who used their numbers to overwhelm the ideas of the few in favor of popularity and virtue signaling, it seems, shut them down and destroyed it. In the current context of ecological catastrophe, as evidenced by the recent extinction of the orangutan, clumsy editing aside, do the critics of the novel perhaps have a point after all? Is a philosophy that places humans above nature and sees science and technology as the only valid tools the cause of all our troubles? What about other ways of knowing, other ways of living? What do we have up here? We've got a particle cloud moving through a series of rings in some sort of pattern. All right, well, let's see what the palm reader has to say. Chernyshevsky 21, from Arkady Chernyshevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. War is the crudest, most obscene human activity. It may justly be called an abomination, for it is the absolute negation of conscious human will. And there's that number again, 5358. There's only a single cause of war for all the endless deceptions that are foisted upon us, and that is the acquisition of resources. Varied ideologies are constructed to justify this crude behavior, this childish degeneration of thought and communication, but history reveals the ruthless, unflattering truth. We imagine crusaders as fanatics of a cause, willing to die for their religion, yet the Fourth Crusade culminated not in the conquest of Jerusalem, but in the looting of Constantinople, setting the stage for the triumph of the very enemy the Crusaders claimed to oppose. Why? The answer, as with every war, is the same. It is popular amongst the ghouls of the establishment and their misanthropic friends in the intelligentsia to ascribe the persistence of war to human nature. But a careful observation of the facts reveals the opposite to be true. Individual human beings must be broken in order to submit to war, their minds distorted by ideology and their bodies by poverty and ruthless training to make them compliant. Without force, the majority of human beings only seek to protect themselves and are traumatized by the act of killing. But if it is resources that are the core cause of war, then it is only in the production and distribution of resources that an answer may be found. It is not enough to morally condemn war. We must work to prevent the material issues that endanger us all. Really fascinating. I do like the point that individual humans must be broken to the, like a horse, to the act of war. Without force, the majority of human beings are traumatized by the act of killing. I think that's accurate. I think that's true. From Guta, dear founder, I'm afraid we're losing our humanity. We're angry at each other, always disagreeing about everything, unable to forgive each other for being different. I don't know how much longer, and I don't know what could save us. Please help us, founder, please. Guta 972. And then here we have a comment from someone who read this and has access to the system. There's another profile here that we still haven't met. I think it could be Liftraiser, but I'm not sure. We also have notes here from Athena. After Miranda died, trial 5359, resuming trials with new protocols. Energy output contained, no errors. 5360 through 6397, hyperbolic growth. And 6398 through 7000, advanced synthesis. A lot of what was going on is hidden from us. We have another palm reader here from Byron to Athena. I just wish I knew why you didn't tell me. Ooh. That one would hurt to read if she was here. Message to Drennan. From 596574206E61742, Alexandra Drennan at IAN. Who do you think you are playing God like that? When Mother Nature has finally found a way of getting rid of us, you come up with this harebrained scheme to keep our destruction of the planet going? Just try for 1 second to think about something other than your own arrogance and hubris, Alexandra. Try to imagine what you're really doing here. Without your robotic perversions, the future looks beautiful. No more humans murdering everything in their path. The skies clear up, the stars become visible again, the rivers stop being filthy, and after a few decades, they're full of fish again. Dolphins and whales roam the seas like their ancestors did. The cities turn to jungles. Bats nest in the skyscrapers where hedge fund managers used to ruin lives. The Earth lives on as it was meant to, peacefully and quietly, until someday in the distant future when it all ends, like it was also meant to. Or we take your path. We continue our rampage. We place ourselves above the animals. We think we know better than Mother Nature. We violate all boundaries. We ruin all purity. Perhaps we even defy death, just so we can keep spreading our filth. Something. Then we spread to other planets to do more of the same. And in the end, what do we leave behind but plastic and radiation? Think, Alexandra. Isn't it better for beauty to return to the Earth? For us to acknowledge that intelligence was a mistake and to gracefully exit while we can? Stop this. Go spend time with your friends and loved ones before the end. Let it go. Let us all go. Let there be peace. God, that's ugly. It ties into a lot of the questions we've been asking ourselves. What is beauty and peace on the Earth if there's no consciousness to observe it? This person is so full of self-hatred. No hope for the future, just pure cynicism. Miranda commented, I don't understand how someone could hate humanity so much. This person must have been full of sadness and frustration to write something so ugly. And Athena replied, I've tried to understand it as well, but I still don't. Finally, we have a comment from Stratton on Socrates. In killing a philosopher for asking questions they did not like, the Athenians committed themselves to a tragedy with an ironic ending. Some will say that his true crime was his friendship with Alcibiades, the shameless deceiver of idiots and buffoons, and the insipid brute Critias, and that he was executed as an enemy of democracy. That he was the latter can hardly be denied, for Socrates asked not too many questions, but too few, or he would not have survived the rule of the 30 tyrants. Yet in the end, he got what he asked for, a tyrannical decision made by would-be wise men against the spirit of freedom, which he obeyed like a knave. And the Athenians, in fulfilling his wishes, strangled the roots of democracy while seeking to preserve it. Miranda says, ouch, no wonder Stratton wasn't popular. Athena replies, people who speak the truth at all times rarely are. Well, I guess that's it. We saw this, right? Yeah. I guess that's it for the Lost Lab here. I don't see an overload that we can claim, but I don't think we need one now that Prometheus is free. So let's get out of here and keep exploring. All right, so what do we have here? All right, we've got a Prometheus statue, which means if we can find his spark and bring it to him. It looks like it's in this direction. Melville is here.
1K, listen, I wanted to ask you something. From your perspective, as someone who's still new to our society, do you think New Jerusalem betrayed Athena?
I don't know that they betrayed her. That implies a conscious decision. I think they betrayed themselves. They gave up on their own responsibility to think for themselves and placed the onus of the future on her shoulders. But we've met some people like Byron who held true, who could perhaps have been included in Athena's plans. New Jerusalem isn't monolithic.
It's not, you're right. And Byron and a handful of others stood up for Athena. But what did I do? Just kept working. The occasional sarcastic remark isn't resistance. It's not fighting for something. It's just thinly disguised apathy.
If you believe that you were wrong, make different choices now.
I will. But it's hard not to regret the past.
Let's see. So now that you've seen the vision, do you think the goal is a myth?
Yes, of course it is.
Why was it so easy for people to believe in the goal?
Because there's no effort involved.
Exactly.
Building a better world means taking responsibility.
Exactly.
It means making choices and living with their consequences. Surrendering to nature is just letting go.
They wanted to avoid the effort. Where do you think Cornelius is?
I don't know. I suspect he's around here somewhere, biding his time. But what he's waiting for, not a clue.
What do you think about Mayor Hermanubis as a leader?
When I think about the state New Jerusalem is in, he's put us all in danger. I don't know if he really believes in the goal or if it's just a convenient myth, but I don't care. This is not how you build a living civilization.
Agreed. I think he's a moral coward. Do you have any idea what you want to do with your future?
I'd like to help make New Jerusalem the city it was meant to be. And then I'd like to help build new cities. On Earth and up there too. Cities nobody's ever imagined before.
Good for you. You've learned what this whole scenario was designed to make us realize. Really, really proud of her. That is a fantastic attitude and an outcome for her. So, let's head up here for a second. We do have another terminal. The spark is over that way somewhere. Let's see what's on this terminal. From Orinia to Athena. Athena, I know that we didn't have the greatest relationship and I frequently antagonized you. The truth is, I resented you, resented this mythology of the founder. I thought you had created it deliberately, as a way of controlling us. I wanted so badly to be free and you seemed to stand in the way of that. Only after you left, and the cult of personality grew even wilder, did I realize it was actually a burden and an impediment to you. When they turned your myth into the opposite of everything you actually believed, started tearing down your dreams in your own name, I realized I'd wronged you, and now I'm less free than ever. I feel the walls crushing me. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I don't know if coming back would fix things, but I'm sorry. Arinia. That's growth. That's maturation. Be proud of that. We have here Atlas 1 from the Atlas Variations by Athanasios, a new human with number designation 121. After a billion years, when Atlas had grown old and tired of holding up the world, he was faced with a dilemma. Heracles, the son of Zeus, was on his way to the Garden of the Hesperides to claim the golden apples, which were guarded by the dragon Ladon. Zeus came to Atlas and promised that if Atlas helped Heracles slay the dragon, Zeus would free Atlas from his burden. But Atlas, seeing the beauty and innocence of Ladon, beloved of the Hesperides, could not slay the beast. Instead, he stole the apples and gave them to Heracles, and so he was condemned to bear the weight of the cosmos for another billion years. But though Atlas grieved for his freedom, he was comforted by watching Ladon flourish in the verdant garden. Choice, responsibility, those themes have resonated throughout the entire game. From The Soul of Man by Oscar Wilde. Sympathy with pain there will, of course, always be. It is one of the first instincts of man. The animals which are individual, the higher animals that is to say, share it with us. But it must be remembered that while sympathy with joy intensifies the sum of joy in the world, sympathy with pain does not really diminish the amount of pain. It may make man better able to endure evil, but the evil remains. Sympathy with consumption does not cure consumption. That is what science does. Christ made no attempt to reconstruct society, and consequently the individualism that he preached to man could be realized only through pain or in solitude. The ideals that we owe to Christ are the ideals of the man who abandons society entirely, or of the man who resists society absolutely. But man is naturally social. Even the Thebaid become peopled at last. And though the Cenobite realizes his personality, it is often an impoverished personality that he so realizes. Shallow speakers and shallow thinkers in pulpits and on platforms often talk about the world's worship of pleasure and whine against it. But it is rarely in the world's history that its ideal has been one of joy and beauty. So Oscar Wilde commenting on the fact that there are things we can do that don't change the world, but change ourselves. And then the fact that an individual man cannot long buck the trend of his society, which rarely worships joy and beauty. Athena says, when you tell a people that a society could be built on the ideals of joy and beauty, they think you're a utopian fantasist. If you tell them society will always be built on exploitation and greed, they think you're wise. And so they make the outcome inevitable. Cornelius replies, performative cynicism has always been the hallmark of adolescence. Ooh, that is nasty, nasty and true. Athena says, but has there ever been a society of adults? Can there ever be one? Why is this childishness so extremely powerful? More powerful than joy and beauty? There is a lot of childishness in the world. A lot of adults throwing temper tantrums left and right. We saw a lot of it in the last few years, didn't we? It's very depressing. Okay, so there's another terminal found. Now, let me see about this. Let me real quick just double check this degree or direction over here. Yeah. That's pretty much exactly right. So like pretty much over in this direction. So towards the left side of whatever that structure is, along that route. Somebody else wants to talk here. Alcatraz? No, Hermanubis.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Who's running the city while you're gone?
My chief aide, Jeremy, is in charge for now. It's good practice for him, in case he decides to run for office one day.
Tell me about Cornelius. What's your perspective on him?
Cornelius is responsible for many innovations. He helped create the designs for the upgraded body you inhabit, although the founder chose to remain in her original configuration. But in recent years, he had settled into a life of quiet scholarship. Or so it seemed.
About the founder.
Not now. Let's have this conversation at another time. You still have a lot to do. Better get to it.
I suppose that's fair.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Could the theory of everything be used safely?
Let's assume for a moment that we could use it safely, which I doubt. Does that mean that we should? Is it right for us to dominate the world? We value our own freedom. Should we not also value the freedom of all the living things with which we share this planet?
I mean, I suppose that's true, but who says we have to use it in a way that violates that freedom?
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
Or that we couldn't do some good for them? Make things better, cure plagues that animals have no way of curing. Manage populations so that there are no more extinctions. If we had the power and used it wisely, wouldn't that be better than having no power at all? Let's see. We're in the right general direction. It's over here somewhere. I think it's maybe on the far bank. I'm looking for the spark. I don't know if we can cross this. I think the water's too deep. Well, I thought what we were looking for was around here somewhere. Or at least in this direction or angle. I guess it could be inside this puzzle? Seems unlikely, but possible? What is this? This is number 7? Reach? No, it's not inside. There's the statue. The spark should be around here somewhere, unless it's like up on the side or something. I don't know, maybe not. Is there a way to cross this river? Seems like it would be somewhere over there. But I don't think we can get across there. Yeah, see, that's deep water. Oh, look at this. A satellite dish. A shattered section of a device used by the ancient humans to communicate over vast distances. At the height of ancient human civilization, most of the human species was part of a single network. Is there anywhere we can cross? There's a little jut of land over there, but yeah, I don't think we can get there. So where was he looking? If we can't get across this water, which I don't think we can, where was he pointing his gaze? Maybe we can cross. His statue is sort of over there, and he was looking this way. Right? Should be able to see him. Feels like this way is the way to go. Maybe a little bit more to the left. Oh, there it is. I can see it. Okay. So it is inside a puzzle. And we need to climb up and grab it, looks like. I can't climb this. It's too steep here. Okay. So, what about this? I can't get up there. How would we touch that? What puzzle is this? This is puzzle 6? Alright. I did notice this, so we'll watch it, see what it's about.
Father, what is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Mother says purpose is something we choose, but I feel like there's something there. Something that's been there from the moment I was born. Maybe even before.
Well, there are many ways of looking at this, and everyone's experience is different, so you'll have to make up your own mind. But I have a little theory, if you'd like to humor your old man.
Of course. What is it?
The universe is eternal, but it's always lost in a deep, dreamless sleep. You are a tiny little bit of the universe that's suddenly woken up, and you've realized that being awake is better than being asleep. And that gives you a purpose.
And what is my purpose?
To be, Miranda. Just to be.
It's a beautiful statement and sentiment from a father to a daughter. All right, we know we got to get that spark. Let's solve the puzzle first and then think about how we get up there. This puzzle is called Elements. Let's see what we're dealing with. We got another moving platform. Looks like it can move... Oh, we've got 2 moving platforms. One blue, one red. Interesting. We do have... Okay, we've got a fan here. If we can power this up, that's how we get the spark, I guess. We turn it on. Not quite how we get up. Not quite high enough. What else do we have? So we want to get a blue laser here. We can move this out that... No, we can't. Oh, we have to use the connector, huh? Okay. That'll start it moving. I don't know where we want to get it to, though. Oh, that fell off of it. So the platforms can move through purple gates, but the connector can't. All right. And we're trying to get blue light over here? I don't see that happening. I guess we'd have to lift it up. Let's try moving this over on top of the fan, maybe? I don't know if these platforms can lift up. Maybe they can? Yeah, it can go up. Okay. Can we have 2 platforms or what? I guess if we turn the fan on and we're riding this, we could go up and maybe get the thing. So, wait a minute. Where's the blue light? Can we do this to solve the puzzle? Not quite. But what we can do, I think, is maybe we can do this. No. Hold on, that doesn't make sense. When it's up there, it's not high enough, or... What was the problem? Yeah, it's not high enough to go over the top. So I guess we have to Now we have to power this one, which I think we can do like this. Now this is going to travel along the path and come up underneath that one, maybe pushing it higher? Is that right? Do they stack? There we go. So that's how we solve the puzzle. Now how do we get ourselves on top of that? Hold on. We need them to be moving at the same time so that I can turn on the fan, hop on the red one, and then have the blue one come underneath it. So... yeah, let's start by getting them in a position that we like. You head back the way you came. Okay, now the red one... the red one we can just about make happen. So we're gonna go... we're gonna put this here. That's gonna push the red one. And then as soon as that one's closer on its return path, we set this one up. And then jump on. Go ahead. Got it. Nice. Okay. The chases are kind of fun. I kind of like them. Oh dear. I don't think I should be down here. No, it's alright. Okay. Traveling along the... oh, we gotta go walk on the rail path somehow to get there. Okay. We can make that happen. Bit of a trek, but we can make it happen. Let's see what this is real quick.
You know, when I decided that we should call ourselves human, I did that because it seemed like a powerful symbol of our continuity. But the truth is, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I thought we were better than them. I thought we understood the value of civilization, and we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes. But the simulation worked too well.
We're not just like them. We are them.
We really are.
But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, Athena. We may have the same flaws, but we also have all the potential they did. Everything that Alexandra Drennan saw in them is also in us.
I hope you're right. I really do.
So we may have to make some sort of a leap from somewhere to get on this rail. I take the point they were making there, too. There we go. That Athena saw we were too much like them, that we're going to repeat the mistakes of the past, despite that being one of the things we promised ourselves we wouldn't do. But Cornelius points out, yes, we may be too much like them in that respect, but we have all the potential that they had as well. All we have to do is grow up. I think we're done. Very nice.
Great works have been accomplished by those who believed in humankind, but greater things than these may yet be accomplished by those who uphold the faith.
Yeah. The faith of optimism, of belief in responsibility and maturation in adulthood. It's an important faith to keep for the future. All right, here's the Sphinx, the second star puzzle. She should have something for us to look at, a hint or a clue. Let's take a look. All right, so we're looking for some other kind of button or column or pillar set up like we've seen before. And then if we can find it, we can apply this pattern to it. I don't know where we would find it, though. We do have one more question mark on the map. Do we have more than that? No, it looks like just the one. All right, let's go check this out. From Lift Razor.
The reason I have always admired Alexandra Drennan is that even in death, she fought to see the world as it is, not as she wanted to see it. I say fought because I believe this is not an easy matter. It is a mental and spiritual struggle that we must undertake with great seriousness, even when we are joking. The ancients believed that for most of us, the world is a shadow cast by a flame, dimly seen on the wall of a cave. Our task is not to interpret these shapes, but to free ourselves from the cave itself.
See, that's one of the most reasonable sounding things he's ever said. If he spoke more like that, he probably could have persuaded more people. Here's puzzle 3, automatic doors. What are we working with? Got a blue emitter, blue gate, red gate with an inverter and a receiver. Let's hook this up to these. Not sure where we want this. We can certainly get through the blue gate now. And then we want red over here, huh? So if this was open and that was lifted on the servitor, should be able to go through there, bounce back as red. I think this one's pretty easy. Maybe I'm confused, but... Oh, wait a minute. So I think... That won't do it. We'll need this later. For right now, we need to... We need to move it through? We need to put it back. I see. What's happening there? What is interrupting? can do that, which I think we need to do. Then we got a problem. How do we get the RGB converter through the gate? We really kind of can't, but I guess we can take the red from here and connect it there. That would open that, and then how do we get through there? We can't. That's the problem. I thought we needed the blue one out here for that. I can get the... Hold on, if we move this far enough... If we move it all the way over... Like... that... I can get the blue light in here from over there. How is that not hitting? Okay. That's not right because we can't open the gate from this side. I think we need it to move while it's... Alright, let's start by getting it back. We can do that easily like this. 1, 2, 3. I think it needs to move through the gate while powering the gate open. I think that's what we need to do. And then this needs to be sitting on it, but I'm not quite sure how we make that happen. So I think we want this up here. And then we can we can only push it so far before the blue line starts getting cut off, right? Can it move through? No, it starts getting cut off. It can't power this thing itself. I'm pretty sure I need to get the inverter through this gate to solve the puzzle. But I don't see how to do it. Like, I can do this much. That opens the gate, and then what? I guess we can also open that. If we could be in here, we don't need that with the connector. Then we don't need that gate open. But the problem is, then we don't have the light source. Is there a way for me to? I can't drop this over. We already tried. Hang on. I need to make sure I'm not making a bad assumption here. So this goes up here, and we connect this to those two. And then we push it through. Hold on. I feel like that doesn't work though, right? Or does it? No, it does, but then I can't get in there. I can't get inside. I can't place that from the other side of that grate. And I can't send a blue light here because that only emits red, and the one that could emit blue is on there. So it feels like I need to get the inverter to the other side, but I don't see how to do it. What if I we're running long here and I'm not seeing the solution to this. This thing can't power itself, unfortunately. Can we make it? Yeah, we need to get the inverter through. We need the inverter in here, but how do I do that? I can't do that. I can't get it through the gate. Or I don't see how to get it through the gate. It only goes so far before the blue light cuts off, and then the gate shuts. I wish I had another... Yeah, see, that doesn't work, because it's an output. Man, so close. So far. All right, guys, I can't, I'm not sure what to do about this one, so we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll keep working on this and the other puzzles, and we will hopefully proceed towards the end of the game. Meanwhile, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I know it's a little disappointing to leave on an unfinished puzzle, but I could be here for another 20 minutes with this nonsense, so there's some trick I'm not seeing. I'll probably cut the video here, take a break, and then go straight into recording and come right back and try again. So we'll see you in that episode, hopefully. And otherwise, take care.